Hello, you absolute legends. If you know anything about Doom Eternal speedrunning, you'll know that it's pretty broken. In the quest to beat it as quickly as possible, players can be seen flying through the air at great heights, skipping most of what the game has to offer. A few videos ago I explained how they managed to do this, exploring the mechanics that make these giant leaps possible. But these crazy skips are only one type of speedrunning. Alongside the stereotypical glitch fest that most people associate with speedrunning, exist speedruns that are the polar opposite in nature. Speedruns where glitches are not permitted, and where players must complete every aspect of the game in its entirety, leaving no stone unturned. Today we will be taking a look at one of Doom Eternal's most difficult challenges, the 100% Ultra Nightmare category. Conquering the Ultra Nightmare difficulty is tough enough as it is. Enemies are deadlier than ever, and if you die a single time, it's game over. But when you throw in the element of speed, things get even crazier. Despite the fact that Doom Eternal hosts a ton of secrets to find, collectibles to obtain, and optional battles to overcome, the top Ultra Nightmare players are completing everything in 3 hours or less. Now, the speedrunning aspect of the game is great, but what I think shines even brighter is how good these players are at combat. The display of skill in these Ultra Nightmare speedruns is simply incredible, and today I want to explore the strategies and thought processes that go into the combat section specifically. What are the best weapons to use? Which demons should you prioritize? What techniques are used to dispatch enemies quickly? In this video we will answer these questions and more. I hope you enjoy. Now before we go on, Father's Day is coming up soon, and today's video's sponsor, Ridge Wallets, has got you covered. Now, Ridge is a great company to work for, and they make amazing quality wallets. If your father is anything like mine, he's probably still using these huge old school wallets, keeping every receipt he's received in the past 5 years, but it is definitely time to move on. These days, all you need to bring with you when you leave the house is a couple of cards and your ID. And the Ridge wallet is perfectly designed to store these for you and take up as little space as possible in your pocket. There are 30 different colors and styles to choose from, and the materials are very high quality, coming with a lifetime warranty. Ridge are so confident in their product, they offer a 45-day money-back guarantee if you don't love it. You can get 10% off today, plus free worldwide shipping and returns by going to ridge.com/legend. That is ridge.com/legend. And use the code LEGEND. The link will be in the description. So when we say Ultra Nightmare 100%, what exactly does the 100% entail? Well, here's a list of everything the player needs to collect, unlock, or complete. All weapons attained and masteries for all mods completed. All Sentinel Crystal upgrades and Suit Token upgrades obtained. All collectible items in the Fortress must be unlocked. All Codex entries obtained. And end-level summary screens must be shown and must be fully completed. Now, while major glitches like slope boosting aren't explicitly banned in the 100% category, the speedrunners who run this category tend to be purists who avoid game-breaking exploits of their own accord. As of the recording of this video, the current world record for Ultra Nightmare 100% stands at 2 hours and 38 minutes performed by Doom legend Zero Master. Though there is currently strong competition by Draqu, who's only a few minutes behind. Both of these players choose to abstain from the use of major glitches or macros, and try to remain as faithful as possible to the original spirit of the game. The fact that every weapon point must be obtained, which are earned by completing all of the combat arenas in each level, means that it is the 100% category where combat is truly highlighted. Major skips become almost impossible to implement, as skipping combat will result in a failed run. Combat will occupy the vast majority of runtime, and therefore, the ultimate success of the run will greatly depend on how skillful the player is at eliminating demons quickly. Fighting for speed is very different from fighting for survival, though of course, keeping things short will minimize the chances of things getting out of hand. Techniques that seem completely natural are off the table. For example, glory killing is almost always a mistake. Once you get a demon low enough on health to stagger it, it's much quicker to simply shoot it to finish it off. The only exceptions to this are Caco demons early on in the game. They are extremely tanky, so staggering them with a single explosive grenade followed by a glory kill is very efficient. Later on in the run though, you'll have access to the ballista, which will be able to kill them in one hit. The other exception is glory kills that need to be performed in order to complete in-game challenges, which are part of the 100% requirement. Using the weapon wheel is also out, as it is much quicker to use hotkeys to switch between each weapon. Switching between different weapon combinations is extremely important when it comes to certain combat techniques, which we will get into very shortly. When it comes to weapon and suit upgrades, sentinel crystals and runes, there are countless different possibilities for which order you can choose. While it's a requirement that everything eventually gets upgraded, certain upgrades are more valuable than others, so are chosen first. This generally comes down to player preference, however, and while tech tree priority may eventually be demonstrably solved, it's far too early right now for everything to be tested thoroughly. Players do know exactly which order they will unlock upgrades though, and there does seem to be universal agreement for some of them. When it comes to weapon mods, generally only one is used for each weapon, as the time spent waiting for the mod to switch ends up being wasted. Generally, the following mods are used. For the combat shotgun, sticky bombs are used as an effective way to clear weaker mobs and cacodemons. This weapon generally stops being used though when the super shotgun is obtained. Precision bolt is used for the heavy cannon, which is both excellent for one-hit KOs on weaker mobs, and is also cycled with different weapons for a higher DPS. Heat blast is used on the plasma rifle for its high AoE DPS. For the rocket launcher, the lock-on mod is crucial, and as long as ammo is available, is the preferred way to combat heavier demons. However, this mod tends to be useless until lock-on speed is upgraded. For the ballista, Arbalist is far superior. While the Destroyer Blade does extremely high AoE damage, the fact that you lack any mobility when charging it makes it a terrible idea to use. Both mods for the chain gun are used in their own ways, and whichever is used comes down to the player's preference. When it comes to suit upgrades, lowering the dash cooldown is a top choice for obvious reasons, followed by quicker weapon switching, which will increase your DPS. As a casual viewer, combat arenas in Doom Eternal can look like a chaotic whirlwind. A highly entertaining chaotic whirlwind, but one nonetheless. However, there is way more planning and strategy involved than you may realize. There are a host of different things that speedrunners need to learn, remember, and master. For each combat arena, the player needs to know which enemies and how many of them will spawn. Where and when will they spawn? What specific triggers activate each phase of combat? What are the movement patterns of each demon? Where are the ammo, armor, and fuel pickups? How much ammo will you have before each fight? On top of these specifics, they also need to know more generally applicable information. How many shots of each weapon does it take to kill each type of demon? Which weapons have higher DPS? And given that different weapons cause different levels of damage to different demons, what is the most optimal combinations for each one? With all of this information understood, the top players will know for each battle which enemies they will kill, in which order, at which location, and with which weapons. This certainly doesn't imply that everything will always go as planned, and things can definitely snowball out of control if mistakes are made, but these combat sections are much more meticulously thought out than what it might seem. Now, let's talk about a couple of the specific combat techniques that runners use. The first is already well known and used by all of the top Doom players. It's almost essential for beating the game on Ultra Nightmare, and that's weapon switching. Single fire weapons have a built-in cooldown limiting the rate at which they can fire. However, this cooldown is reset whenever the weapon is equipped, so by cycling through weapons, the rate of fire can be increased dramatically, resulting in a much higher DPS. The Super Shotgun's meat hook is obviously used to pull the Slayer around combat arenas, but it also has a much more useful function, which is to launch the Slayer to great heights or distances, allowing him to reach secrets or jump large gaps quickly. This technique is called a yeet hook, and to do it well takes a lot of precision. The frag grenade is a weapon that should be used as much as possible, which ends up being difficult given that there is so much going on during combat. Keeping track of the frag grenade's cooldown is just another element the player needs to worry about, but proper implementation of the grenade is extremely useful for its extra DPS, and also to use in specific combinations to kill heavier demons. As I mentioned earlier, the rocket launcher's lock-on mode is the top choice for eliminating heavier demons, but some of them need extra damage to be killed, so generally another shot with a precision bolt or super shotgun is used to finish them off. But a lock-on blast plus a frag grenade is a much better option, as once the rockets and grenades have been fired, you can immediately move on to the next demon. Ballista boosting is also used to move around quickly and make larger jumps. This takes advantage of the large recoil and provides a decent speed boost when shot while in midair. Knowing everything there is to know about how enemies and weapons work is something every runner strives to accomplish, but at the end of the day, it all boils down to execution. Every single missed shot costs time, so ultimately, accuracy will reign supreme as the biggest variable. The top players have extremely precise aim, and it's part of the reason top-level Doom Eternal combat is so entertaining to watch. When Doom Eternal is played well, it is just beautiful. Now I just want to quickly break down a fight which shows some of the combat mechanics in action. This is taken from Zero Master's Ultra Nightmare 100% run of 2 hours and 38 minutes. In this particular arena, there are 3 waves, and while there are plenty of lesser demons running around at any given time, only certain demons need to be killed in order to complete each wave. The first wave consists of 2 Cyber Mancubi, a Revenant and a Hell Knight. The second wave contains a Baron, a Whiplash, and a Cacodemon. The third wave contains another Baron, 2 Whiplashes, and a Cacodemon. Once those demons have been eliminated, the arena will open. As soon as he enters, he ballista boosts to the location of the first spawn, a Cyber Mancubus. These demons are protected by high amounts of armor, but are weak to the Blood Punch, which Zero Master uses to break its armor and deal significant damage. He then switches between the Super Shotgun and Heavy Cannon to finish it off. The next target is a Revenant, where Zero Master uses the Rocket Launcher lock-on. However, he only has 2 rockets, which isn't enough to kill it, so he needs to quick switch to the Super Shotgun to do more damage. He then jumps down and chainsaws the second Cyber Mancubus. Using the chainsaw to eliminate certain heavy demons is embedded into the strategy, but requires a lot of planning as you need to save up the 3 bars of fuel needed. With the ammo obtained from the Mancubus, he switches back to the rocket launcher and uses the lock-on to kill the Hell Knight. This begins the second wave, and he immediately runs to the spawn of the Baron to take it out with the Crucible. Again, saving Crucible charges for the heaviest demons is important, and where each charge will be used is planned in advance. Unfortunately, a glitch occurs here where the Crucible attacks again, wasting a charge on an imp. There are still a few annoying bugs in Eternal which haven't yet been resolved, which can cause some hiccups. This wasted charge won't impact this run immediately, but it does mean time will be lost somewhere in a future battle. Zero Master then uses a lock-on to kill the Whiplash and an Arbalest shot to take out the Cacodemon. Now there is a slight delay before the next wave spawns, so he takes out a couple of drones to collect ammo and armor. When the third wave appears, the Crucible is again used to take out the Baron, followed by a lock-on and frag grenade to take out a Whiplash. He then heads through the portal to the other side of the arena where the second Whiplash should be, but in this case there were a couple of time losses previously during the fight which meant that it had already moved away. He shifts focus to the Cacodemon, taking it out with the Arbalest, and then searches for the remaining Whiplash, which after a few seconds is found and destroyed with a lock-on. In this case, being slightly behind schedule didn't cause any detrimental harm, it was merely a few seconds of time loss. However, if things don't go as planned, combat can quickly get out of hand and spiral out of control. As a spectator, top-level Doom Eternal combat is some of the most entertaining gameplay out there. While the initial wave of excitement over Doom Eternal seems to have washed away, I believe that competitive play will begin to snowball in popularity as time goes on. I've put a link in the description to Zero Master's full Ultra Nightmare 100% run, so definitely go and give that one a watch. A huge thanks to Zero Master as well for letting me use his footage throughout the video. The guy is truly an absolute legend, and is in my opinion the greatest Doom player of all time. I may even devote an entire video to his accomplishments in the near future. Thanks again to the guys in the Doom Eternal speedrunning Discord for continuing to help me learn more about this game. Thank you so much for watching, you legends. I hope you are having a fantastic day, and I will see you in the next video.